talk to you guys about. And today, what I want to talk to you about is healthcare and nursing burnout. Can also talk about other topics if you're interested in. You can let me know. This is my first time trying the computer with Substack. So, if you have any questions, let me know anything in the chat. And I was not able to add a title to this, but I've been a nurse for over 30 years. And the fact is that I have learned, and I have also taught other nurses in nursing school when I was teaching, that 50% of the people who join nursing usually leave within the first year. And I thought about that a lot, why that is. I had nurses who left even during nursing school. I have seen other providers, medical providers, social workers, even just any type of healthcare worker, people who work in a lab, people who work the floors, assistants, medical assistants, or nursing assistants leaving the care because it is really difficult. Hi, Nikki. Thank you so much for joining. Hi, Margaret. Thank you so much for joining. Today, I am in the Pacific Northwest in Astoria, and it is almost 5 o'clock, 4:51 a.m. And I was just talking a little bit about healthcare and nursing burnout, but I'm happy to talk about any kind of topic that you are interested in as well. Hi, Margaret. Hello to you as well. Thank you for joining. So I've been thinking a lot about nursing and healthcare burnout. And I'm honestly, at this point, been a nurse for 31 years. I originally finished nursing school in 1994. So it's been 31 years, and I can say that I am tired. I am tired. I love people, but it's not just the people. It's not just taking care of people. It is the actual healthcare system, the way it works. I think there's a lot of good things in it. There's a lot of good organizations providing support, but there's also kind of like a collective trauma that happens to nursing and healthcare workers when you see other people's trauma all the time. And I have been working a lot in substance abuse, and that also adds an additional layer of trauma. And I had an injury myself earlier this year, which kind of added some additional layers to this situation. But I do feel like at this point, I am pretty burned out in healthcare. And in some way, I feel really sad that it had come to this point. I thought, I'm going to be a nurse for all my life. And I think some part of me always going to be. But at this point, I just really feel like that I do need a break. And I don't know if there's any other healthcare workers out there who feel the same. I interestingly was just in a little retreat where I was taken by a family member, and I got a massage, which was really nice. But this person who was doing the gentle, it's kind of like a facial and a gentle massage together. She was saying that in her massage school currently, there are 3 nurses who are changing their profession. They are leaving nursing to just do massages for people because I would imagine so. It's just a lot to deal with. Nikki and Margaret, and It's Just Trauma, thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions or any kind of topic that you're interested in talking about this morning, I just really felt like I couldn't sleep, and I just really felt like this is a topic I wanted to put out there. How could we support nurses, healthcare workers better to decrease the burnout. And it might be inevitable. There might be people who all their lives can do this profession and do great. What I have seen is not the case. When I was teaching nurses, I had nurses, baby nurses, how we call them, who are student nurses or within their first year. So many of them quit. And, that is tragic. But I think it's even more difficult when somebody is in my position, right? I'm going to be on the other side of the 50s in January after my birthday. And it's a little bit more difficult to start over and say, I just cannot do this anymore for my health, for my mental health, for my spiritual health. And I would like to do something else. And how we get to this point when we say, this is just not for me anymore. What I have seen, what I have experienced is too much to go on and keep on going. So I would love to hear what you guys think about this or what profession you guys are in. And, what are your thoughts on this? I think it's definitely cumulative. I left working in substance abuse before because it was too much. Also, I really felt like the industry was focusing on the money, not on the people, not actually taking care of the people. I would like to put people first, but that also means at this point that I have to do what I'm saying to other people. I have to put myself first. And I think that is to really first rest and to do something different. I'm not saying that I might never be able to be a nurse again, but right now, although I have nursing knowledge and public health knowledge, I feel like I just need some time to really feel what am I underneath that. And I love writing and poetry and writing books and creating artwork and being outside in nature. I'm not sure how that all connects to what I'm going to be doing next. Regardless of what field you are in, I think it is important to do self-care. And many times we do say that, but actually, are we doing it? Are we putting on that oxygen mask first? Are we checking in with ourselves? Hey, how are you doing today? Which I hope all of you who joined doing well today. And I know that we cannot always necessarily do what we want to do because we have to make ends meet and there's other things in life. But I do wish and I hope that there is room for outlets and support for each and every one of us, that we can do what we would really like to do and enjoy doing. And I like to explore that more. And imagine if that would be possible from the beginning, if it would be a society where we could contribute to our best skills and wouldn't have to worry about, if you can pay the rent or for your house or for food. I'm not necessarily talking about a utopian society. I'm just talking about a place where there's room to support each other's skills, or everybody can do what they would be the best at. And part of me is just tired. I feel this extreme weight of injuries after injuries. And even though I have learned coping skills to deal with the trauma that happens to you as a nurse and as a person in society, I do feel that the accumulative weight is on it. And there is pressure from society, from people, um, from governments to be a certain way, act a certain way, and have certain type of presence in the world, I guess. Hi, Charles. Thank you for joining. Um, it's my morning, um, unable to sleep, video stream, and I'm talking about burnout at work, and specifically in nursing and healthcare, which I've been a nurse over 30 years. And I just feel that I cannot be a nurse anymore. And I don't know if any of you who are joined this morning had similar experiences when you had to switch job or total profession or had this accumulative stress. And I do love people and I love to take care of people. But at this point, I feel like I spent 30 years of doing that. And I have to try to take care of myself. And I don't really fully know how that looks like. So I'm trying to take some time and really think about that. What is it that I truly want to do? And can I do it? Can I make it happen? Can I just reinvent myself fully? In the meantime, I'm trying to focus on things that I do love the most, as I mentioned, creating art, working with nature, and experimenting, making paint, for example. I love to make paint and inks from local plants and spices. This morning when I couldn't sleep at 2:30, I was thinking about coming out and mixing oil paints from different spices. So I went to my spice cabinet and I have out here everything from paprika to white flour to whole wheat flour and cinnamon and cocoa and different oils and water that I can mix it. So I was going to do an experiment with how it looks like if I mix some of the spices and the flowers, which I have done spices before, but not the flowers. How would it look like if I mix it with water? And how would it look like if I mix it with oil and also put some on the canvas? So, any questions or comments? Anybody, please, they put something in the chat. And this is my first time also trying this streaming on a computer, and I was not able to give a title, which normally when I do it in a phone or Substack, I'm able to add a title. So, maybe there was a space, but I couldn't. But it's also just a conversation, and want to see who can join and what your thoughts are. And if you had to deal with similar situations that I am right now, that you have to change on your whole of watching. The first time when I really felt like a nursing burnout was after the COVID pandemic. The first rush was trying to figure out, isolate, help everybody. And then we have seen people dying and people getting hurt, not knowing what's going on, not having enough information. And both my nursing side and the public health side are screaming, what else can you do? What more can I do to help people? The other part of that is there is a part of you that is scared, right? And you don't want to catch COVID or any other kind of disease. You don't want to die or infect other people because that could be a problem too, right? We have to be really careful if you work in a hospital or clinic or no matter where you are to prevent disease transmission. And we didn't know how this thing was spreading. So all you could do is do your best. And it was difficult to dress up and work in a mask and just hope that this will go away, that there will be a cure and not too many people get hurt. And when you're in it, you just go and just do it and do the swabs, do the calls, do the follow-ups, do the isolations, do what you need to do. And after 2 to 3 years into it, I broke. I didn't realize at the time fully what was happening, but I did have to take a little break from nursing. And now looking back, it was that accumulative stress and overwhelm of keep going, just with every day, just with the grind and do your best and follow the policies and support everybody the best way you can. And I don't know if I ever took the time during that time to check in with myself. Hey, by the way, how are you doing? So how are you guys doing? I hope all of you are doing well. I hope that more and more things can come out about the stress and the trauma of being a healthcare provider, whether it's you're caring for somebody at home or in a professional setting. It does create, over time, and I'm not even sure if I have a word for it. I know I mentioned stress, cumulative stress, trauma, but there's something out. It's almost like part of me had no more to give. It's like a compassion at fatigue. I cannot just give more of myself to other people. I have to now step away. Hi, Lawrence. Thank you for joining. I have to step away and take care of myself a little bit before I can give anything to anyone. And I'm not sure if I ever able to be return working as a nurse or a public health professional. At least, I don't know at this point in my life, I just know that I feel like I'm completely burned out on healthcare. And I've been doing it for such a long time that I don't even know how I can just flip that switch and do something else. And I've been doing other things on the side to try to help, like my writing, like my artwork, which has been really helpful. And I do enjoy fully doing that. It would be wonderful if I could make a living doing it. And somebody was just telling me the other day that I have to stop saying that, but like have that, don't put that block in front of myself about it. That there's something that I can do. Lawrence, if you have any questions or any comments, you can put it in the chat. We're just kind of talking about changes in life, healthcare, burnout, which I've been a nurse for a long time. And at this point, I don't think I can be anymore. So I'm in that switch in my life, and I'm going to take a little bit of time and focus on what's next. And of course, continue my writing and artwork. But trying to really figure out what is this next chapter in life. And it's really interesting for me too, because I'm just turning a century. I am currently 50 years old and I'm going to be 51 in January. So it is really half a century turn for me. Mm. Thank you for joining and listening to my morning rambling about life and burnout. And I really think that it's not like I don't have any more compassion for people. I do have compassion for, and I love to help when I can. But also, I need to create like this stop, this barrier. JM, thank you for joining. I have to create this barrier when I say, no, I cannot help you right now. I need to help myself first. I need to figure out my life, my passion, and focus on that a little bit instead of just focusing on other people, which I have done in the last 30 years as a nurse and as a public health professional. Just always put my work, family, and everything else first before I put myself. And it's so interesting because we do say, right, to put that oxygen mask in first. But can you? How about you guys? Are you putting your oxygen mask on first? It's not necessarily easy to do that. Let me know what your thoughts are, what you would like to hear about. Thank you for all of you joining this morning. It's I'm in the Pacific Northwest for those of you who joined recently, and it's 5:11 here in the morning. I've been up since 2:30, couldn't sleep. So after some pondering, I thought that I'm going to. It's hard to know when to say when. GN saying, okay, it feels like there's more to that story. When to say when, about changes in life, like what I'm kind of facing now, or taking care of others, when to take care of yourself. Stop talking and let me know. I feel like I've been trying to take care of myself by doing activities that I enjoy. Doing the nature walks, creating books, writing, doing artwork. But I'm also trying to do all that was next to working. And I haven't really stopped until now when I was forced to stop after I had an injury and I was kind of forced to leave my job, basically. To say, okay, Gabriella, what is it that you want? What is it that you truly want to do? What is that vision? And is it possible to make it happen? But I think even before I can get there, I need to pause and take some time. Stephen, Dobbs, thank you for joining. Talking about life, talking about crossroads in life, healthcare, nursing burnout, which I'm experiencing right now. Changing professions, also taking time for yourself. If you have any questions or any comments, I want to share anything, your experience in your life, please put it in the chat. And also let me know, how's this look? It's kind of hard to. This is the first time trying this in a computer. Up to now, I've been doing these Substack lives on my phone. So this looks a little bit different. And also I wasn't able to create titles. So hopefully it looks good in your end. And thank you so much for all you joining this early in the morning. Let me know also where you are. Are you in the Pacific Northwest where I am? Which part of the world or which part of the US you are joining from the US? And also, I would appreciate any feedback and also any topics that you might be interested in. Um, I'm trying to do more lives and just build genuine connections. New England, yeah, yes, thank you, JM, for letting me know. Thank you for joining on video. Also, if you have had burnouts in your life and had to change something drastically, I would love to hear about it. And also, how did you make that choice? And maybe what led you to it? To me, I tried before, like I tried to switch from nursing to strictly public health. And then I kind of switched back because I didn't find a job and I didn't find something that was fulfilling enough. And then COVID happened. And I really felt like during COVID that I really had to go back to nursing. And I also felt like, because I've been a nurse for so long, that's what I have to do. So part of me felt like, I think, subconsciously, that I did not have a choice to do something else. And now life literally stopped me. I had a major fall. I had some pretty bad consequences of that. And it needed time to heal. And even though during that, I was working through it as many hours as they allowed me. Some in office, some remotely. And just in the beginning of December, I was kind of forced to leave my job. And I couldn't drive it. I'm still recovering from an ankle surgery, so I can't drive it. And I was not able to work remotely more hours to, me. So I had to make a choice to resign from my job. And now I'm here and trying to figure out what's next. And I applied to a lot of jobs, didn't get anyone. And in one way, I am worried about that. And in another way, I'm kind of relieved because I do feel like I need to take some time and just focus on me a little bit, take care of me. But I know if you guys been in that situation. And I also feel like I did give 30 years of my life to healthcare and taking care of other people. So maybe, just maybe, it's time right now to try to take care of me. And I don't know exactly fully how that looks like. But one thing I'm going to do is, once I'm cleared with my ankle, I'm going to go back home where I'm from a little bit and spend time with my mom and just be. No agenda, nothing else. Just very simply be spending time with family and be in a space kind of like an in between. Let the past go and see who I am right now and what is next for me. In the meantime, I do want to continue with activities that I do enjoy. JN. COVID was forced to change so many of us, and we had existential pain that we had to pack up and forget. Their stories very similar to mine, including catastrophic injury and recovery we get here too. Oh, thank you so much, Caitlin. Thank you so much for sharing that. That means a lot to me. And you're right. We do have that pain. And especially people who like to take care of other people or worry about other people, they tune into that pain more. So I think I was really tuned into that pain as well. And after my injury and my fall, um, my brain couldn't process emotions well. And I was thinking now, looking back, that that had to happen to protect myself, to really just try to do recovery for myself and not to try to help other people. Because like the base structure of me always want to say yes and try to help and support other people. And it's been really hard sometimes to say no. And I think I do need to learn more of that. And I think you're right, Jan, that we forget, yet we also need to take some time to remember and unpack whatever happened there. Jan says it seems lifelong growth, but after a while things are less tiresome, less painful. No feeling momentum is forward rather than stuck. You will find equilibrium. Thank you so much. I hope that as well. And I hope that that's why like making this decision to take a little bit of time for myself is going to be a good one. You know, even though it might be difficult, when you look at financial and those kind of situations, life is too short, right? Not to try to focus on something you enjoy and taking care of yourself, even if it comes with some difficulties. I do feel a sense of relief that I can say to myself, it's okay not to take care of other people for a while. It's okay not to be a nurse. And that's really hard. It doesn't mean that I will never do anything nursing related. I'm part of a medical reserve corps, and so whatever. And if there's a disaster, I will go and help. If I see somebody on the side of the road and I can do first aid and CPR and save their life, I will do that, of course. It's just not the everyday nursing. Oh, Jan, thank you for sharing that. Oh my God, this just, as you see, makes me so happy to see that, like immediately smiling when you're reading your words. You say, I began working with kids and they make everything seem like they're so, yes. Yes, that is so wonderful. I could see that having fun and doing things with kids. And yes, because children just have that amazing, wondrous, questioning, joyful things of life. And they can be so happy. It's very simple things. And I love that. I love that. I love that you want good kids. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. And I think as an adult too, we can learn so much from children. Just being in the moment, just being lost in the flow of a game, looking at a bug crawling on a stick, enjoying summer, running in the water and get wet and whatever it is, but just truly be enjoying that moment. Although we do really have to protect our children. I don't know how old the kids you're working with, but I think there was just a new law passed in Australia about the social media and the phone and all those things. We have to protect their brain not to have too much exposure to social media and the computer games and all those kind of things. It's not the best for them. Or you're working with kids in middle school. That is so great. And how innocent we were. Yes. But I think we can find it again. I think we can learn a lot from kids by working with them, by observing them, just going back to that inner child in a way, right? To take a deep breath. And if you don't have to focus on what's the previous moment or what's the next thing happen, then you can just really enjoy being in that moment and being observant and be happy looking at a candle or looking at the sunrise. Oh, Jan says the dad phones is cool. Wonderful. I think that's great. I grew up without a phone in school. It was just fine. We didn't need it, all that distraction. I mean, it's not just the distraction, it's the every minute, the social media and, of course, Googling. And it's easier for people to say harmful things when they are not face to face, when they are just typing something down and they might not even recognize how that makes somebody else feel. And then kids growing up and learning, it's really great that you guys ban the phone. Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy to hear that. Jan says exactly so much. But I don't know, you just made my day. So thank you so much for joining and just bringing that up, that you've been working with kids and really that brings hope into your life that, um, you know, I have to go find some children. Maybe I can do a little volunteering or something to start with and do something with kids as well. And I do like to work with just people, gathering people. So like I started a women's group. And they meet once a month just to come together and gather and be in community. And I like to do art and different kind of things. So hopefully something will come along that brings me that joy that works with you, with children. Jan says it whole state banned them in all schools, and it's a game changer. I can imagine. Yeah. And I don't know how you guys make that happen. Like they just cannot even bring it into the school, or they have to put it down and pick it up after school or something like that. But I'm glad that did happen. That is, I think, it's a great news for our children. And I'm really saddened when I go anywhere and I see parents give little 1-year-old a phone to play with a game. That's not what they meant to do. They meant to, you know, they have to put them in their lockers. Oh, that's good. So if there's an emergency, they could go get it from their locker. That's really, yeah, I really like that. There's no reason the kid would be home in school. Yeah. Yeah. And I grew up, we didn't have phones. I don't even know how old, maybe 8 when they got a regular phone just for the household. And yeah, Jan says that they can send emergency text to parents if needed. Yes, of course. That just warms my heart that you're working with children and you were able to find the joy in that and kind of change that. I do feel like you're right. Children can bring so much hope into our lives because they are the future, right? And I look at my children with awe too. Of course, they are grown adults right now. But see, working with kids can bring a lot of joy and fun into the life of people. So that warms my heart. Thank you so much. And you're saying it's a great choice. I hope you'll consider it. It's not something that I've thought of. So, I mean, you literally just made my day because I don't know, maybe that could be something I do. Yeah, I'll definitely think about it and see what's out there. And I did do some projects with children as part of the Red Cross. The Red Cross had this program called the Pillowcase program. And we would go into schools, and it's part of emergency preparedness. And we would teach the kids, give them some supplies, and also teach the kids of, in case of an emergency, what kind of things you would need to put. And the pillowcase idea came from that it's really quick. It's right there, and you can just grab it. And what kind of things you could put in there, like if it's a stuffed animal, some emergency food, water, what are the things that you would put in a pillowcase? Scholars, yeah, I don't know. I just really, maybe GM, but right now I'm just so burned out in nursing that I just can't even think about being any type of nurse. But I do have a master's in nursing, a PhD in public health, so I do have a lot of education. So I could do groups, I could do even after school activities. Yeah, maybe. So, I'll have to think about it. Like just having fun, like even just do art with kids or mindfulness. I do write a lot of meditations, and I can do my own meditations and mindfulness and breathing techniques and that I used also as a nurse. So yeah, the emergency preparedness. I think thank you for saying that. It sounds like a good skill to teach. Yeah, it is. It is very simple. Like in the class, I remember usually just taking just a few hours, but it was very, the kids liked it, and we had different kind of activities, and sometimes it was like a similar age or grade level. Sometimes it was a mix of groups, and I remember one time we went and did it for Girl Scouts, and a few times in the school. One time I did it. It was Hispanic group that got together. So the kids they brought while they were doing their group, the kids we did preparedness teaching, and we got to hand out pillowcases. First they were like Disney pillowcases, and just regular pillowcases out of the Disney ones. And yeah, the kids were really catching on really, really, really quick. And, we try to teach it kind of in a fun way. But it is good to be prepared a little bit. I mean, it's not something that we have to be prepared for all the time, but it's good to be prepared. And in case something happened, and the most common thing that happens out there is a house fire. And once you did that, volunteering at the Red Cross is fun after house fires and comforting, supporting the family and supporting them. And yes, they did love it. They did love it. And it just made me smile to think about that when I was doing that project. That was kind of fun. So maybe something similar. Maybe I'll work with my role, who knows, but yeah, that just kind of gives me some hope. It's not something I thought about. So thank you for sparking my interest in that. And, I don't know in what capacity working with the kids, but they might have a program in your state too. And if I request Red Cross people to come in and do that Pillowcase project with your kids. So yeah, it's called the Pillowcase project with Red Cross. And there might be other organizations who do something similar for the kids. So yeah. Well, I really appreciate everybody tuning in, and you guys made my day just for joining this morning. And Jan, thank you so much for sharing your story and yes, to the world future. And that just kind of gives me some hope. And I think the this is also why it's important to talk to each other. And even just like this, I showed up and you guys showed up, and Dan, you made my day. So, and everybody else who joined and just listening to my morning conversation. I will post this later, and I might add a few things to it. And also, if you guys are interested in check out any of my artwork or books or anything, you just search my name, Gabriella Kőrösi, and on my publication, Dancing Art and Pops, and everywhere online. But the most recent book that I have published with a friend who lives in Hungary, who's another Gabriella, is we did nature walks, because that nature was the most healing to me after my injury, and I couldn't necessarily go very far from my house, but I was doing walks around the house, and she was doing walks in Hungary and across the world. And now 8 months later, it became a book. We added some recipes and tips, and really fun. And in our nature walks, we talked about nature, of course, and plants and different things, but also talked about life. And we did talk about children too, JM. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. And I really appreciate you all. Also, if you have any topics in the future you want to hear and talk about, please let me know. And have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Until I see you next time, Gabrielle signing off. Bye-bye.